Bonnano Suprapubic Catheter for urgent decompression of the bladder. The kit is readily available in Australasia. Always read the instructions and see what you have available in the kit. Have you tried other measures to catheterize, such as the Coude IDC, and discussed alternatives with seniors or urology referral partners? We are assuming you follow sterile technique and universal personal protective precautions. The catheter is simply a large cannula which is curly at the end and has a pre-placed plastic sheath to straighten out the curl to allow you to insert the trocar or the needle. This is the first step where things can go wrong, as you can catch the side of the catheter as you insert the needle. Be gentle and rotate as you go. Don't force it. With the trocar in situ, you now have what is simply a long cannula to insert into the bladder. You now must remove the plastic sheath, which straighten the catheter, as this will stop you inserting it through the skin and soft tissues into the bladder. The other part of the kit is the Lure lock connector, which screws onto the catheter and which you connect to your urine bag. You're now ready to go. Identify the landmarks with the ultrasound and check to see where the bladder is closest to the skin and measure the distance from the skin to the bladder. This is important. You now selected your place where you're going to place the catheter. Hold it perpendicular to the skin and look at the marks on the catheter. You can see a 10 centimeter mark. So measure approximately 5 centimeters to the bladder, and that's where you stop. Once you know that you're in the bladder because you've determined it, you stabilize the arm and hold the needle or trocar, sliding the catheter into the bladder. This is where you can go wrong. If you don't stabilize the arm, you cannot adequately hold the trocar or needle, because if you pull the needle out, you will not be able to insert the catheter into the bladder. It needs to be slid along the trocar. We can see what happens if we pull that needle out. The catheter will simply not go in. And see here, we're ready to go. And we just stitch in the catheter so that it remains in place. Use local anaesthetic. And the Lure lock adapter goes onto it. Connect it to your catheter bag. So let's just see where we can go wrong here. If we've pulled the needle out too far and we try to push the catheter in, it simply will not go because it's not guiding over the needle. It's just like when you put a cannula in a vein. You need to leave the needle in situ and you're slipping the catheter over the needle. So do not pull out prematurely. Use a syringe. Because it's a narrow lumen, you'll have to aspirate urine. It doesn't always come pouring out unless it's under high pressure. And put your adapter on. You're ready to go.